Alright, here we are, day 8 of the KeyForge Advent Calendar 2020 edition, aka the Dark Ember Tree. What have we got today? We've got Lunabolt, the Racer of the Base. Whew, great name. Look at this Archon too. It's Sanctum, Saurian, Dees. That means it's mass mutations. Alright. Let's get into this. I don't know if any of you saw my key thoughts that I posted yesterday. I did a double video day. But I talked about DOK and the way it should be used, in my opinion, and how it can be used, maybe based on your opinion. And so if you haven't checked that out, please do. It'll be a link at the end of the video you can click on. And myself and Scuzzy will be going over that in this week's Help from Future Self, a little bit more deeper dive into DOK and looking at a deck when you open it for the first time. So that'll be out Thursday. And tonight I will be streaming all these amazing decks I've been opening this past week. I think I've really only had one deck that I thought was total trash. And of course it was Brobnar Worlds Collide, everyone's favorite whipping horse. So, without further ado, let's get into this new deck. First off, we got a Dark Minion, Dominator Bauble, Drekker, Waking Nightmare, Anguish, oh yeah, Obsidian Forge, oh yeah, Picaroon, Soulkeeper, Orb of Invidious with a damage pip, not super stoked about that. Ritual of Tognath, alright. And Wretched Doll, oh, that's awful. That's wretched. Let's put the disc off. I kind of am liking going about this with the single house dives. So we got Champion Anaphail, Cleansing Wave with a damage pip, that's pretty tight. Commandeer, Font of the Eye, love it. Seeker of Truth, the Grey Rider, Double Grey Rider, Bring Low, oh yes, Equalize, Mighty Lance, Seraphic Armor, and on to the dinosaurs. We got Chant of Hubris with a damage pip, Consul Primus with a capture and damage pip, Curse of Vanity with a capture pip, Defense Initiative, Faust, Sagittarius Gaze with a capture, another Sagittarius Gaze, Theros Centurion, Curiosaurus, Siren Horn, and Pterodactyl. Okay, so right off the top, like, are there any creatures in this deck? Like, for realsies here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 creatures. Wow, 2 13 creature decks so far. That's kind of wild. And now we should have a lot of Ember, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Ember. So, like, pretty good, but not great. Now let's first go into Dis and take a look at what we got here. Yeah, not stoked about this. Wretched Doll, whatever. Orb of Invidious. I actually now feel very differently about this card than I did previously when thinking about this. So Orb of Invidious is basically going to create the ability that my low creature count means that my ability to just get Ember from playing cards becomes that much greater, and my opponent hopefully has a lot of creatures and needs to reap, and therefore this will slow them down. So I'm very much liking Orb of Invidious in this deck now. Ritual of Tognath is not amazing for destroy 2 friendly creatures when there's not a lot, but that's fine. Soul Creeper is great. Picaroon, great. Obsidian Forge, low creature count, so unfortunately this may not play off the way I would ideally like. Anguish is great for key cost. A lot of great ways of getting keys. Wow, why can't I think right now? a lot of great ways for dealing with Ember control for your opponent. Wow, that was way too challenging to say these early mornings. Not that early. Anyways, a lot of upgrades in this as well, I've noticed. I like the double Grey Rider, but unfortunately I don't think that I'm going to get to combo this off very often, just due to the situation. The nice thing is this deck, even though it has low creatures, has a pretty decent power count on those. So I like the Seraphic Armor for the potential to either put this on an Anguish, you know, fully heal it when it's necessary, and then give it the extra armor. There's also some other candidates. I think like Theros Centurion is good, as well as Faust the Great. I think another good candidate. Obviously, this is great. Some direct damage. Equalize. I mean, this is really solid. Okay, I'm starting to see how this deck is going to do some cool stuff. We're going to circle back to Equalize in a bit. Bring Low, amazing, right? That's just scaling Amber control, which is very rare in Mass Mutation, so having that is always a boon. You may fight with a friendly non-sanctum creature. Yeah, there's some dinos that this is great for. Double Font of the Eye, again, the capturing. There's a lot of capture in this deck, and like I said, I'm going to circle back to this, which I think is good. Commandeer, again, some more capture. Cleansing Wave, fantastic, love it. Just a way, there's some damage pips. You also have the Dark Minion combo with the Cleansing Wave, which is great. And then Champion NFL just to protect things like maybe a Faust, Grey Riders even, depending how you want to set up the deck for what's important. This is great. Anguish on either side, so it can't just be swung into, and you have the power to do that. I also like the Mighty Lance on the Anguish if you're calling Sanctum and you need that Anguish out there and just, you know, get some stuff going. I'm a fan of that. Now in the dinos was weird to me. The Siren's Horn I think is going to be amazing. Like Siren's Horn and Theros Centurion, I'm loving that a lot. This card though, this card is going to put in work in this deck. So what you're going to be able to do here is you have Faust, which is going to want your Ember on there, right? And then you also have the Font of the Eye, which also helps with the Faust. And what you can do is equalize, so you can actually have your opponent maybe have, like, even if you're getting it stacked on your creatures, you can then spread out that Ember, and that's going to really help. This deck is made for capturing. Exalt a damaged creature. Again, you can follow this up after you played your Cleansing Wave, and just exalt your opponent's creatures, and you're going to create this ability to essentially have your whole, like, the whole Curiosaurus will work in your favor, because you may get one of your creatures with a ton of Ember on it, but hopefully that it's not going to be too big of a deal because it's only one. But you can then get your opponent's creatures to have, like, the Equalize. I think with this is going to be so good. I just see this Curiosaurus putting in so much work in this deck with all the capture. If you can spread it out correctly, you're not going to create that big of a risk, and then you're going to have one creature opponent has, which is going to become the ever lovely Ember Exalted Pinata. And when you have a Pinata creature, you're just looking to pop it. And with things like Pterodactyl, which I found Pterodactyl is an amazing card if you have a double Golden Spiral, because you can get that stun off and then attack with it, and it's dealing 4 across the board to 3 creatures. It's fantastic. So you can start popping those Pinatas on the other side. Again, I also really like the Siren's Horn with Theros Centurion. You're capturing and moving, and like there's just so much work to be done there. Faust is going to be great in this as well. This again, ward creatures that are getting too big. Maybe if you're getting a Pinata, like the Pterodactyl is a huge candidate for that. You could also use the Seraphic Armor on your biggest creature. Fully heal it, so you're letting it take that damage. You're letting, you know, when they have that one Ember on their side that's coming to you, maybe you don't have the Equalize out yet, and that's starting to happen, you can really protect that creature with something like this. So there's some really interesting ways that this deck is going to function. I really like it. I really love all the capture in this. I like Orb of Invidious in this deck. The Obsidian Forge, again, I'm not too sure about. Yeah, that one I'm really not sure about. But there's also the cool thing I just realized the Orb of Invidious does, with Curiosaurus, is if you could literally sack one of your creatures with one Ember on it, put it on your opponent's creature, and then if you have something big to fight into it, you can do some work there. So how about this? Yeah, Soul Keeper, Obsidian Forge, and whatever one has all the Ember. Holy crap, this deck is sick. I like it a lot. I'm so excited to play it tonight. I think this is going to do some seriously cool stuff. This to me is a Capture Curiosaurus deck that I've heard that they exist. If I had the double, that'd be really badass. But I'm honestly super stoked for this. I think we're going to see some really interesting plays come out of this deck tonight. And I'm super excited to explore this fully. So hopefully you're excited about this. Let me know what you think about this and my thoughts about this. Low creature count, but you're going to do some shenanigans with the exalting and capturing and things like that and playing around with your opponent's creatures. I really think there's going to be some dope stuff going on. Like Pterodactyl and Grey Rider, like seriously, that's going to put in some work. If you put a Grey Rider on either side of the Pterodactyl, that means you're swinging for 8 damage that turn across 3 creatures. So, keep that in mind. Let me know what you think. I think this deck is going to seriously do some beastly work. I want to hear your opinion. And please come join the stream tonight. It's probably going to be at like 5:30 or 6 Pacific. I'm not sure. I may do a little bit earlier start tonight depending how the day goes. So let me know. And we're going to be jamming a lot of decks tonight from this opening. And I'm curious to see what y'all think of it. And I hope to see you there to have some discussions with me. I absolutely love it. And as always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.